Hello, this is Greg from SharePoint Maven, and in this video, I would like to show you how you can import terms into the term store via CSV file or Excel file. So first of all, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. So this is only applicable to situations when you're utilizing managed metadata, also known as term store metadata. Essentially, it's the metadata that is defined within the term store global database of labels that can be used and reused across the entire organization. So I'm currently navigating to SharePoint Admin Center. It is an admin feature. So I'm navigating to the SharePoint Admin Center, and under Content Services, we have essentially a term store. And this is where you obviously define your hierarchies, various hierarchies of terms that you have. They could be a list of departments, companies, client names, document types, and so on. And I recorded this video a little bit earlier. Essentially, you can also obviously build hierarchies of terms, right? So you can have a term under term under term, just like you have here. All right. So just wanted you to visualize this before we do the import. But here's the deal with essentially the term store. If you are trying to, let's say you're building a set of terms, right, a drop down a list of choices, pretty much you have to build it manually. So you always have to click, three dots, say add a term, type something, and so on, right? And that's obviously fine if you have maybe a few, terms here and there. But let's say you have, I don't know, a list of project names or project IDs, and you have like hundreds of them, or maybe even thousands of them, or you already have a list of 55 document types defined, or you have 20 different departments. Sometimes typing them in is not a wise decision. Luckily, in this case, what we can do is import the term set into the term store. So that's exactly what I'm going to demonstrate to you in this video. So there are actually several steps involved. We are going to start with step number one. And step number one, you need to download a CSV file. All right. When you import terms into the term store, they actually have to follow a very specific, format. So to do that, what I'm going to do for the purpose of this video, I'm going to create a new term group. So that's something you kind of create manually. All right, just a way for me to organize all my term sets. And then, so typically I would be just, creating a term set. Let's say it would be, I don't know, a list of client names, or maybe project IDs and so on. But in our case, we obviously are not going to do it manually. In our case, we are going to import one. So the first step, though, and you click import term set, it will offer you to download the CSV template. So the first step, you just literally, there is nothing to import just yet. We are literally just downloading the CSV file that we are going to later fill out and re-upload. So for that to happen, just literally click on this, and the file will be physically downloaded to your computer. And now we're ready to proceed to step number two, and that is, we have to fill it out in a special way. The second step in the process is to pretty much fill out that CSV file that you just downloaded. So this is what it looks like, all right? When you open that CSV file, And this is what pretty much it looks like out of the box. It's a bit confusing to read. And Microsoft added some initial information for you here, but in my opinion, it's a bit too much. So we're going to clean it up because not all of this information is required. I will explain to you what it is that you see here. So they actually used like a geography, I think, example here to for the sample. But essentially, the most important piece right here is, of course, the term set name, the description, which is actually optional. So I'm going to delete this so we're not confused. Don't worry about this other column. The in this column is important. This will tell the import mechanism to, true or false, whether you need to, have this um, particular label that we're importing available for tagging or not. Obviously, you want it to be true. So we'll leave this. Term description is, for the description of your terms, I never really worry about it. Um, I just, yeah, we just delete it. This is right here. Let me expand again and explain to you what you see here. So look, if let's say you are importing a list of document types, all right, like agenda, meeting minutes, invoice, budget and all that, all you would need to do is just fill out this particular column, level one terms. That's all. However, you know how in the term store you can also create a hierarchy of terms. I think I have an example, yeah, right here. So you see I have terms and terms underneath and terms underneath and so on. So in this particular case, you would need to fill them out in that specific format. So let's say you have a label, and then if you have a sub-label, you would need to list it again and then essentially add this sub-label on level 2. And if there are additional sub-labels under level 2, then you would need to kind of repeat it again, level 2, and then put another entry on level 3. So how many, however deep your hierarchy goes. And yeah, all of this, kind of the parent term will be here all filled out, and then depending on the hierarchy, you would fill out the rest of the storms. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase all of this because I actually want to use a real example that I have been using, for my clients. You know what? To make it fun, we are going to actually use a list of wines. And to be honest, this is something I actually it's pretty much a real example of what I help with, some of my clients. Some of my clients are wineries located in Napa Valley, and they actually built out, I helped them build out a hierarchy of terms within their term store. So they have different types of wine, and then, different, kinds of wine, right? Subtypes, and then different labels. All right. So this is how usually the list looks like within the organization. But again, we have to put it into a specific format, and that's essentially what I will help you do right now. So what we are going to do, let's go back to our term set. I'm going to pretty much call our term set wines. All right. Remember, we don't care about description and this. We'll leave this alone for now. Term description is not important. Now, make sure, don't delete any columns, all right? Just if you don't need them, just leave them alone. And now here on level 1, we want to add, red or white, right? So I'm going to populate red under level 1. And then under red, I want them to choose a particular type of, wine, right? We have different types like Pinot Grigio, Cabernet Sauvignon, and all that. So essentially, that's a subterm under red, right? So we are going to copy that right here and paste it over here. All right. And remember, this, has to follow this naming convention. And then under Cabernet Sauvignon, we are going to add, just a few labels, I guess, that we have. I'm just going to copy them here, and I'm going to paste them on level 3. Now, remember, it has to start over here, all right, because it's a subterm, just like that. So essentially, it has to follow this format. Hopefully, it starts to make sense. All right, so we have level 1 as the type of, red or white and so on. Then we have the level 2, the types of wine, and then underneath the specific labels. So now, next one, we'll just continue. I'll just do this really briefly. I guess Merlot, we are going to, I'm just going to copy those few choices that we have. And they're going to go here. And then remember, just leave it alone just like that. And then perfect. And then I'm going to copy it like that. All right. Now I added a few more choices on here. You will see that our CSV file looks a bit different. I just added a few more, but you will notice that pretty much it follows the same format. Again, level 1 terms, then as soon as level 2, we have different choice for level 1. We started it all over again, and it kind of follows this convention in a hierarchy kind of mode. All right. So the only remaining step, and this is super important, just make sure, we don't want to import the term and not have it available for tagging. So just make sure it says true on all of the rows that you add. So at this point, we are just saving the CSV file back. You don't need to change the file name or anything like that. You also do not need to change the file type. Do not convert it to Excel. It needs to stay as a CSV file. But this step has been completed as well. We're now ready to import the CSV file into the term store. So we're now ready to import our CSV file. To do so, navigate back to the term store, and we're navigating to our term group that we created previously. And again, instead of adding a term set, we are ready to import. And it's going to come up with that panel on the right-hand side. But this time, we are ready to import our CSV file. So you just click Browse, and get the document, click Open, and click import. And that's all there is to it. So if there are any issues, it will obviously tell you if there are any issues, but we obviously did everything, correctly. And look at this, our term set has been imported into the term store. So under finance term group, we have our term set called wines, and you probably, recognize this. If I expand, so we have our term set and then level 1, level 2, level 3. All right. And if I do the same maybe on some other, category, I guess, or type, here we go. We get the same thing. All right. Now, so that was the pretty much the final step in terms of the setup. Of course, at this point, you would navigate to the library and connect our term set. Let's actually do that. So I'm going to add a column here and choose manage metadata. Yeah, so make sure when you define your term store metadata, right, do not click choice column. At this point, choose manage metadata. Essentially, it's the metadata defined within the term store. And this is where we map, the choices, the column, I should say, to our term set. And I believe I defined it over here. Yeah, this is the list. I'm going to map it to this list. And we're all set now. All right, we're all set. We just mapped it. And now we can go ahead and essentially tag against the different, types of wine, different labels that we have, just like that. Here we go. I'm going to expand just like that, and label it accordingly, you see. So that was it in terms of the setup. I would like to briefly mention some important nuances regarding this import. So first thing, and let me see if I have an example for you over here. Yeah, right here. Look at this. I imported the storm set, and it has some kind of weird characters here. What happens is that in Excel, right, you can type in any character you want, of course, right? And I think I had some non-English, non-letters, I should say, right? Some special characters in Excel. And this is what happens essentially, right? The term store does not allow for that, so you will need to change those special characters to some sort of number or letter. So you will need to pretty much fix it manually. All right. So that's thing number one. The second thing I want to mention, and this is extremely important, when you import the term set, it's a one-way street. What does it mean? So let's say I uploaded this big list of wines, all right? And let's say now, the product team has added another 150 labels. Well, unfortunately, at this point, if you're already obviously using this list, if that's something that's in use, at this point, you will need to manually add the terms, all right? You cannot re-import the list. You cannot import the delta, all right, just what changed. You pretty much have to import a brand new list. And again, look, if we are not using this yet, nobody is tagging against this list, you can just delete it and, pretty much import brand new list. But if the users are already, using this list and it's been used on different sites and libraries and users are tagging it, at this point, unfortunately, you will not be able to import through CSV anymore to this particular term set. You will now need to add additional, choices manually. All right, so that's all really there is to it. A great technique if you are starting out and building your lists, pick lists in the term store obviously helps when you, have large lists and you don't want to waste the time, typing everything manually. You can easily use the CSV to import things to the SharePoint Term Store. All right, so that's all I really wanted to mention on this particular video. Hopefully you learned something new. As always, happy to see you on my blog, sharepointmaven.com, as well as my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Goodbye.